Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Matthew Parry, one of the key account managers here at Textlocal. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to wait another couple of seconds. I think there's a few more people just logging in, and then we will go through our presentation on why SMS.
Yeah. So who are we? What's that? Your microphone's turned on. I can hear what you're saying to it.
Okay, so I'm just going to kick off with a little bit about us at Textlocal. So we are the UK's industry leaders, been in business since 2005, started by our, one of our colleagues, Alistair Shortland. Our award-winning platform has changed quite a bit over the years, and now there's quite a few unique features that we offer that our competitors currently don't, such as easy to use campaign tools, full audit trails, added functionality. So my name is Matthew Parry. I look after various accounts within the business, so financial services, a large retail sector, and also gaming. That's me. So we're increasingly becoming a mobile-first society, and with the latest figures from Ofcom estimating smartphone usage at around about 71% of UK adults, and mobile usage staggering 93%. So with the vast majority of consumers familiar with the channel, it's significant to see consumers rank it alongside email as their preferred route from contact from brands too. So today what we're going to cover in brief is the mobile market today, challenges facing every business, including ours, what the consumer actually wants from you as a business, some best practices for SMS, and how SMS has evolved and what's probably going to be coming from SMS. And then we'll have a conclusion, and then at the end we're going to open this up for some questions. So you can send me some chats, some conversations or questions via the chat practice. So first of all, SMS. As I mentioned earlier, smartphone usage is around about 71% of UK adults at the moment. It's now viewed as more important than apps. We're going to delve into this a little bit more later on into the presentation as to why this has still got precedence over apps at the smartphone market. 98% of mobile users will read a branded or business-backed text communication. This varies, but this is within seconds. This is mainly due to the visibility of an SMS when it arrives on a handset. And it's viewed as an information or a service channel. So it's still used for things like what we call factual SMS or transactional SMS for appointment reminders, but it's also really effective for marketing. Now the research that we refer to in this has been conducted by Mobile Squared, so they provide intelligence insight for the entire mobile sector. UK mobile market today, 63 million, and feature phones 16.1 million. So what we mean by feature phones are, well, I suppose the old-fashioned phones, those of us who remember things like the Nokia 3310. So when phones were traditionally used for phoning, SMS, and playing Snake, no sort of internet access or anything else on there. So it's still one of the most effective ways of engaging with customers. This is purely down to the fact that most people have the phone with them 24 hours a day. It is, rightly or wrongly, the first thing they look at in the morning, probably the last thing they look at night. So if you've got a message to get across, there's a very high percentage they can receive that message as and when they need to. Just under 80 million active mobile devices, with over 56 million individual users. So those figures there alone show that a lot of people now do have more access to more than one mobile phone. So whether that's a traditional home phone or personal phone as such, and then also a business phone. So the phone's with you for more than 16 hours a day, and as I mentioned before, it's the first and last thing people tend to pick up. So top 5 services in mobile devices are SMS. 2 is browsing, so I mean that's everything from internet shopping to social media, everything you can do in there. 3, email. 4, camera. 5, weather updates. This gives you an idea of how people actually use their phone on a day-to-day basis. And here's some figures here about how SMS is used. So 90% of text messages will be read within 3 minutes. 98% are most likely to be read by the end of the day. And over 30% will respond to promotional SMSs. Now, the growth in smartphone usage and technological advancements have also transformed the ways in which brands can use SMS to engage customers. So the humble text message now offers a wealth of opportunity from marketing messages like voucher codes to offering helpful service updates such as appointment reminders or delivery dates. So I'm sure a lot of us have shopped online now. We've received an SMS come through to let us know our parcel's arrived in store, or even down to things like MOT reminders. This next slide here shows how the opted-in texting universe is going to grow. So this is compliant numbers, so people who've actually opted in to receive messages from businesses. So this isn't taking into account any kind of marketing or spam. This is purely people who want to receive a message from you. So this year, nearly 23.5 million people are going to respond to a text message. By 2020, we're looking at just under 50 million. So as you can see, there is massive growth in this industry in the next 2 to 3 years. So 20% of these opt-ins have already purchased goods as a direct result of receiving a text. So whether this may be an offer or in a response to an inquiry they've made. 50% of these opt-in users have already said that their loyalty to this business has increased by having helpful or informative text regarding recent purchases. So here's some opportunities which are presented by SMS for the rest of this year and moving forward. And so there's going to be over 7 billion text messages sent. 6.3 of these are going to be read within 3 minutes. So as you can see, this offers a far higher response rate than any of the media. So whether that be via apps or email. And then on average, you're going to get about 14 business texts sent per opted user per month. So this really does present to you an opportunity to grab your audience's attention in the most time-responsive manner. But obviously, again, it's down to message content. What you will find, as with all marketing channels, if you send things that are relevant, people will start to lose interest. So it's important to think about the message that you're going to send is relevant at that time. So the challenges facing every business. So this is businesses that we've spoke to, feedback from Mobile Squared about how they see their business sort of panning out for the year and the challenges they're likely to face. Now, two in particular stand out. Firstly is the ability to generate traffic and leads, and then the second is to provide return on investment. So generating traffic and leads, there are some changes to how data is going to be managed next year with the incoming GDPR. So that will mean that people run the risk of heavy fines by sending out sort of spam traffic to large marketing lists of people who've not opted in. Via SMS, making use of some of the tools that we have available, such as short codes, it enables you to compliantly grow an opted-in customer base. So you have a marketing opportunity to reach out to people who are genuinely interested in your product with time-sensitive offers. The return on investment, which we'll discuss some specific case studies further on in the presentation, but SMS does provide a really clear and simple return on investment. It's a low-cost marketing channel which can provide a really high response rate. So we've got some average business spend. Large businesses with revenue over 25 million are probably going to spend around about 9% of that revenue on marketing. So, I mean, that's what, £2 to £3 million a year on marketing. It's a massive budget. And this will encompass all sorts. So SMS, email, print marketing, banners, online, so on. Slightly higher percentage for smaller businesses. So if you've got a revenue of less than 25 million, probably going to spend up to 11%. Whereas the SME market, obviously they're not going to have anywhere near this kind of budget to spend on marketing. So £24,000 is the average annual spend, with £1,000 for 2/3 of those SMEs. So mobile strategies, it's still, I mean, the use of it varies mildly across the market, but 81% of businesses currently have a mobile site, but about 31% have an opted-in mobile database and use it to send SMS. So there's still a massive market. Like 69% of businesses aren't using any opted-in mobile databases. So there's still huge room for growth in this industry. 27% having an app, but there's still about another 10 to 15% who don't have an app now, either one's in development or they are planning. Apps are really great tools for advertising and for reaching out to customers, but they are unfortunately very, very expensive to use, and they're not always guaranteed that they're going to stay on a phone due to storage issues with handsets, or even just not becoming relevant after initial promotion. And then we've got things such as QR codes and printed marketing materials, around 6%. QR codes have had mixed responses, depends on the industry, the sector, and of course the offer that's on there. But with QR codes, again, you need an app on smartphone to be able to make them relevant. So SMS campaigns, as I mentioned before, are relatively cheap, and they are highly effective if managed in the right way. So for an SMS campaign, you can run from £1. It's depending on where you live in the country, of course, but same price as 4 pints of milk or a loaf of bread. So really, there's not an awful lot of cost involved for a smaller business to utilise this channel. So consumer wants. So research has revealed that text and email are preferred channels for consumers, not social media or app. Businesses operating social media-led marketing and communication strategy are not always reflective of how the target audience want to be communicated with. This is purely, research has shown again that text and email remain these preferred channels purely because Facebook is still viewed as a true social media. So most social Facebook users or Twitter or even Instagram really are still using this to stay in touch with friends, with family, organising social events. There's about a 9% success rate for campaigns, purely because people don't really want the crossover there between business communications and the social media. So they are still, despite this, Facebook and Twitter are still dominant. A lot of businesses are focusing on large and expensive campaigns via these channels. Then email, and then SMS is still currently 4th place. As mentioned before, only about 9% of users welcome business communications on Facebook. So that's 91% of people who you could be sending messages to who don't want them. So obviously that can cause issues with trust between you and any potential users. So here's some high-level figures. 30 million Facebook users, 9% open to marketing. 37 million opt-in text users, 100% open to marketing. So straight away, these figures here tell you that an investment in SMS marketing could potentially reap rewards quite rapidly. So standard mobile banner response rate of 0.6, which, considering the cost that it could cost you to invest in setting up mobile banners, really would provide quite a poor return on investment overall. And then advertising response rate is up to about 5% for exceptional campaigns. This is coming from really large brands where there's a huge amount of element of trust in their brand awareness. If you were an SME, it's unlikely you would receive a response rate of around about 5% for a Facebook campaign. As mentioned before, it's still a social media channel. People prefer to keep it for what it is and leave the actual business communications to another channel. This slide here gives us an overview of communications that you and I are receiving as consumers each week. So email, 19% of people are receiving up to 5 a week, whereas SMS, 62% of people are receiving them. So this already shows that people are now used to receiving SMS. It's a trusted channel, and people respond well to it. And this goes all the way up to 51 a week who are receiving 18% versus 2% of SMS. So this shows that a lot of people are not in the sector of the high number where they're receiving huge amounts of SMS at the moment. They seem to be receiving smaller amounts of SMS, but highly targeted, as opposed to with email, people are now kind of getting overloaded with emails, people are just sending out for all sorts. It is really popular. Email has really low costs. It's quite easy to set up, but a lot of campaigns there, it's really difficult to measure any success or return on investment that you may have. There's also changes in technology, so the large players, Google, Microsoft, basically any web shop or internet provider now are providing better and better filtering services. So it's more and more difficult for any email marketing to actually get through any spam filters. I'm sure this yourself, you can go into any inbox that you have, and if you go into a junk or spam folder, you'll suddenly find there can be hundreds of messages from, even from some marketing that you would have wanted to hear from, but they could have sat in there for ages because they've just never been brought to your attention. So that's always one challenge. It's always going to be there for any successful email campaign, is to get through the spam filter initially. If you do open, say even there, a peak open rate of around about 22%. And again, this is for campaigns with trusted brands who are sending out particularly good offers, time sensitive. And that compared with around about 98% for SMS, you can see a massive difference straight away. So I mean, with email, of course, it's a highly congested channel. So as the previous figure showed you, if around about 51% of people are receiving 10 or more emails a week, it's highly congested. So to get your message out there and get it heard, you've got to be able to do something really clever and shout louder than the other people who are sending these details out. This is an overview now of the businesses, so people who currently use SMS and who people want to hear from. So at the moment, supermarkets are number one in the industry. A lot of people now are taking advantage of home delivery. It's just convenient, and luckily long gone are the days where we had to wait in for an afternoon or a morning to wait for your groceries to arrive. And now supermarkets, they're sending out confirmation of orders, they're sending out confirmation of the actual time for delivery, and then in a lot of cases as well now, a lot of people are now focusing on the customer journey, so they want to get effective feedback from the deliveries. So once their groceries have been dropped off, they're sending out mobile surveys to get customer feedback if they're happy with the delivery time, if it turned up on time, if they're happy with delivery itself, delivery drivers, all sorts. They can feed that information back into the business to make sure that as a business they're providing really effective customer service. Down here you've got membership. So again, this can be for all sorts of things. Your membership is due for renewal, additional services to members. So perhaps if you own a gym, you want to send out members. It can be a class reminder, or it can be additional services that you want to offer to them. Because you're a trusted brand for them already, the response rates are fantastic. And then all through these, I mean, you can see that there's various different kinds of businesses that use us. Each one of these businesses use in different ways. And again, if this is something, if you're in one of these sectors and you want to discuss this in a bit more depth, you can ask me a question at the end of the presentation and we can drill into it a bit more for you. So best practices. It does change sectors. It depends on what your product is, who you're trying to reach out to, your demographics. But generally, I found with a lot of my clients that between midday and 3 p.m. is the most effective time. This could of course change if you're sending something to a self-employed plumber. That's probably going to be busy because they're working themselves. So this can change to maybe perhaps at sort of 6 o'clock in the evening when they're on their way home. But generally across most sectors, early to mid-afternoon gets a really high response rate. And this again can be further accentuated on a Friday afternoon. Most people tend to be responsive on Friday afternoon between these times. So again, have a look at your demographics. Think about when they would like to receive these messages. And again, some of it comes down to trial and error. Try one at 1 p.m. If that has a certain response rate, test that against one again at 3 p.m. and see what you come back with. Useful text messages. So we touched on this a little bit in one of the earlier slides. People find the most useful text messages are what we call transactional texts. So it's something to let you know something's going to happen at a certain point. So for instance, your delivery is going to arrive at 3 p.m. today. This is great for the business because it means they're hopefully going to cut down on the amount of return deliveries. So if you've got a van full of groceries, they're being delivered at the time that you've planned for, they're not being having to be returned to a warehouse. And also the customer is really happy that the things have arrived at the time they've wanted. This can also be in real time, that it can be utilised if there's delays in delivery. So you may have arranged to arrive at property at 3 p.m. If there's traffic and you're going to get it till 4:45, this can be sent and just as an update to the customer. So again, keeps the customer happy and they're aware of the situation that's going on. Appointments and booking reminders really, really important. So as most businesses know, a lot of money is lost over time in people not turning up for appointments. A lot of this isn't malicious, it's just simply people forget. So it can be really helpful to you if you send out an appointment reminder perhaps a week before and then also the day before, with perhaps an opportunity for them to reply that if their circumstances have changed, they no longer need the appointment, they can text back and reschedule it. So personalised vouchers and discounts. This is something we've worked with quite a lot on a lot of our clients. There's some exceptional functionality within our system where we can send out custom tickets or vouchers to customers with an immediate call to action. So if there's a sale on perhaps at premises or there's something there that you're trying to push a time-sensitive promotion, people can claim this and you can actually track back by our system who has redeemed a voucher code and who's completed a sale. So we'll go into this in a bit further on. Customer loyalty programs again, so if you've got, for instance, in the simplest form, a coffee shop, A lot of the large chains now have cards you can pick up on the counter. You get them stamped each time you go. Every time that's stamped on your 6th or a visit, you get a free coffee. We can offer this via mobile. So again, this code can be reclaimed X amount of times, and this can all be managed digitally, so that people aren't having to carry around cards for each coffee shop they go to, so it can be stored on their phone. And then a really important one are for things like alerts. So again, if school trip is away, if parents are going to pick children up at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, traffic's late, we can let people know whether they're going to be either there early or late. And then there's down to even things like your finances. SMS is now used widely by the banks to let people know they've reached a certain threshold of their bank. So they may have gone into an overdraft limit, there may be an unusual transaction gone out. Again, these communications were sent previously via email, but if there's a fraudulent transaction and that goes into your spam folder, you're not going to get the response you need. By sending this via SMS, it's an immediate response. So there's a few case studies that we've done here with some businesses on how they've used SMS. So the English National Opera, they had an opportunity for people to sign up to the ENO marketing lists, and they just texted in a short code and they were on there, so they could register an interest in tickets. So the National Opera had issues with shows being run but with seats being empty at the last minute. So what they decided to do is to have a marketing list via SMS to let them know that there were X amount of tickets available tonight, maybe with a discount in place, so people could sign up and get those tickets. Lookers was the car giant, so highly successful campaign we did for this one for 2 models. They had a marketing list that had been underutilised, and we sent them out specific offers with specific discounts on 2 car models. This sold, I think it was just under 100 cars for them at £4,000 return on investment. We could actually track the people who had received the SMS, then visited a dealership, taken a test drive and signed up. So we could work out a really clear return on investment on this one. And then down to the small SME, Shelley's Restaurant, they had new menus, promotions on, and again they could say Friday night we've got X menu on, it's 2 for 1 dining. And they found that again booking up those empty tables came through really quickly, really good, quick, effective win for them. So SMS, you're no longer tied into the 160 character limit, it's now 5 messages long. It can castenate, so it just comes through in one body of text. We've got advanced features in there, so we can give you audit trails, open rates, you can put short links in, we can take them directly to your Facebook site or to your website. And then also as well with things like Google AdWords. So if you do use Google AdWords, probably a lot of you utilise the Call Now button. Google have now released a text, so you can click on that via your web browser. That'll send a message into you as a business owner saying that Matt Parry is interested in your products. And from there you can set up auto responses to come back with a phone number or other things that you may need there. And now smartphone searches have overtaken old desktop searches. So the mobile phone itself is getting more and more widely used. So here's some ideas again on how this can be used. Really SMS, it's such a versatile channel that it's down to your imagination how it can be used. There's really sort of no limits on how it can be done. So just a quick conclusion while we're up and opens up some questions for you. So SMS say it's been more and more widely implemented. Some large global brands now use this, stores. SMS campaigns truly is one of the most reliable ways to communicate with the target audience, mainly due in fact to the immediate responses on there. And with total users expected to reach over 50 million by 2020, for any business owner, it's a massive market for you to be able to target. It is unique. No other channel is going to experience this growth of 18% in the next couple of years. So it's going to be able to reach about 75% of the UK's total population by 2020. Email just simply can't do that. I can't compete with it. It's emerged as one of the best, most reliable ways to communicate successfully with the target audience, highly effective and affordable, regardless of whether you're a national campaign or a small localised one. Any questions? Have a quick look. Okay, so I've got some questions come through. One of the ones is regarding our platform more than SMS. So we've been asked if we do offer integrations. Yeah, this platform is entirely integratable. It's really straightforward. API docs on our website, so if you've got a CRM or any internal systems, you can plug this in so the journey can be entirely automated. You can of course use it via portal as well, so you can log in manually and just type in whatever SMS that you want to send out. Is the negotiation of price okay? Probably one of the most popular questions that we get. Yes, there is. We will always look to price match any like-for-like offering. So there is a vast difference in the SMS market about what you get. So there are some really, really cheap providers out there, but the old adage of you get what you pay for really is true. So you need to make sure that you're avoiding things like grey routes or SIM banks. This can do massive amounts of reputational damage to you if you're sending out SMSs via questionable means. Again, speak to your account manager or someone on this. We can offer you a lot more information. And then final question I've got is everything self-serve or can we manage campaigns? Both. So the platform itself is self-service. Say you can log in, you can send SMSs. If you have any doubts or you don't have time or you need something more in depth, phone us, speak to us. We've got a bureau team here who can manage campaigns. So we can look at everything for you, from doing the artwork, helping you with choosing sort of times, the content of your message, everything you need. Really, you can just pick up the phone, speak to us, ask us what you need. Any other questions at this point? Okay, that looks like it. So all there is really is for me to say thank you all very much for your time today. Here's some contact details for us. It's well worth looking at our white paper we've recently released for the State of SMS for a more in-depth view of what we've discussed today. But any questions you've got, say my name is Matthew Parry, so you can phone, you can ask for me, or you can email in the details here, and we're happy to discuss your requirements in more depth.